Evan Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
AJ Bob.
Icon. Can the icons of a generation, two of the players that set the tone over the last decade in the NBA, the standard, LeBron James, Steph Curry, can they step up their backs against the wall? It's the play-in tournament. The NBA playoffs are upon us tonight, and yes, it's LeBron James. It's Steph Curry leading their teams, champions, Hall of Famers, the best of an era. But it's winner go home for one and two opportunities for the other. What it do, and welcome into the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. The JJ Buck, joined by Cy Riley, Bob Walpole holding it down behind the glass. And what? The Western Conference has been awesome this season, from top to bottom, because when you look at the play-in tournament, and you have LeBron and the Lakers versus Zion, who is playing his best basketball of his young career. He's healthy on the floor. The Pelicans are home favorites over the Los Angeles Lakers. Then you have the Golden State Warriors and the turmoil, the up and down for Steve Kerr and his squad throughout the entire season. What Draymond Green are you getting? Is he going to punch someone? Is he going to be suspended? The loss of an assistant coach, passed away mid-season. They find themselves the 10 seed. One of the best teams we've seen over the last 10 years. It's a 10 seed. And the up-and-coming Sacramento Kings, they're not up-and-coming anymore. They were a 3 seed last year, struggled at times overcoming injuries, but yet they have an opportunity at home against the Golden State Warriors. Welcome in to the opening drive, and are you ready? Because I'm ready, and I'm stoked for what is ahead. And when we look at that first matchup, the Lakers and Pelicans, somehow, someway, New Orleans is a 1.5-point favorite. And we just saw this game on Sunday. That was actually the final game of the regular season. The Lakers were in New Orleans, and they blew the doors off of the Pelicans, 124-108. But I'm going to start, because I wasn't on the email chain. Apparently, I'm not good enough to be on that email chain. But it was on ESPN yesterday. You heard it right here, Colin Cowherd on The Sports Animal, talking about how the Lakers should manipulate their way out of the 7th seed to be the 8th seed, so they would not have to face the Denver Nuggets in the first round. Because the Oklahoma City Thunder are the number 1 seed, and the Thunder will play whoever ends up being the 8th. And that will be the quote-unquote Game 2 winner. Because Lakers Pelicans, winner of that is the 7th seed and will play the Denver Nuggets. And then the loser of the 7-8 game will play the winner of the 9-10 game for the 8th seed. And I think at this point in time, if you're any of these 4 teams, I don't care if you have LeBron James or Steph Curry on your squad, the last thing you can do is think you can manipulate this situation. It's put yourself in a win or go home game if you're the Los Angeles Lakers, just because it would give you the Oklahoma City Thunder over the Denver Nuggets. To me, the Lakers got to go out there and play their best basketball.
Absolutely.
and take that momentum into a first round series, regardless if it's the Nuggets or the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Absolutely. And I think it's an intriguing prospect to go down and possibly, quote unquote, blow a game. But you need to get yourself into the playoffs. And there's no guarantee that if you lose against the Pelicans that you're going to beat the Lakers or Warriors. The Kings or the Warriors. You don't know if somebody's going to get hurt. AD get hurt. LeBron get hurt. You don't know if the refs will be fair to you and give you a nice whistle. Even though the game will be hosted in Los Angeles, if you have a shot to make the playoffs, to put yourselves in a 7-game series instead of a winner go home matchup, you got to take that chance. And the Oklahoma City Thunder have no playoff experience pretty much. This team is young, it's new. I wouldn't want to play a team like the Golden State Warriors if they end up beating the Sacramento Kings, even though it's in Los Angeles, because again, there's so much on the line. It's a winner go home situation, and you could have taken care of business against the New Orleans Pelicans and put yourselves in the playoff.
And this is a weird situation too now for Orleans, because New Orleans goes out there as slight favorites and actually wins the game, and then all the conversation is going to be, well, Lakers do the game. The Lakers knew what they were doing. They didn't want to play the Denver Nuggets in the first round. They wanted to play the Oklahoma City Thunder. No, you get into the playoffs any way possible. If you're looking at it, are the Thunder a potentially a better matchup in the first round? Well, the only reason you're saying that is because of the unknown. And you're just assuming that because a team hasn't been to the playoffs, they can't win in the playoffs. And that's not 100% true. Like, it's a cliche in postseason basketball. Like, oh, you got to get there, kind of go through your lumps and win. But it's not a given.
Yeah.
Especially when you look at a team that they were the number one seed in a conference that's been the best it's been in maybe ever.
Yep.
And yet we want to sit here and say that's the team you want to play. You want to pick on the Oklahoma City Thunder just because they haven't been there, but they were the number one seed in this stacked conference. They were a team that were better than the Lakers and the Pelicans and the Warriors. Run it down. The only team right there was the Denver Nuggets, the same exact record.
I think you're going to get, in this situation in the West, it came down to the last game of the season for the number one seed. So no matter what you're doing, 1, 2, or 3, you're going to end up playing a potential somebody that could have been the number one seed. And that's the Denver Nuggets, OKC, or even the Timberwolves. All three of those teams had a vie for the number one bid. And so it doesn't matter if you're the Los Angeles Lakers, it shouldn't, because you're still going to face the number one team. You're going to face a team that's won 50-plus games, dominated offensively and defensively, has huge talent, either Jokic, possibly 2-time or 3-time MVP. You know, it's just going to be it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for both teams.
You're going to have to play someone good. You're going to have to knock someone off to go. So any thought of the Lakers trying to manipulate the situation? I don't care if you're LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. You go out there and win the game.
Yep.
And play who's in front of you after that. Not put yourself in a situation where you want to be in a win-or-go-home situation, and it's a 50-50 chance that it's Steph Curry in that next game. No.
That's the
no, thank you.
Prospect right there.
No, thank you. Because you'd be like, well, if the Warriors lose to the Kings tonight, of course you would favor the Lakers. Not necessarily, man. Steph could go off for 50 at any point in time. And that's what's fascinating about these matchups. You have the generational icons in LeBron James and Steph Curry with their backs against the wall, just trying to make it into the playoffs with the play-in tournament tonight. Lakers, Pelicans, Warriors, and Kings. And for the Lakers, is the X factor going to be D'Angelo Russell? Because, you know, it's going through the notes last night and putting some stuff together. So the Lakers are 15-3 this season when D'Angelo Russell scores 25 or more points. So he is the difference for them offensively, because you know what you're getting with LeBron James, Anthony Davis, even Austin Reeves has been a nice, consistent contributor. The pop comes from D'Angelo Russell. If you're looking for an X factor for the Lakers, because you know LeBron's showing up,
yep,
and he's probably going to be flirting with a triple-double tonight. AD, who has been healthy this season, but one of the first things out of your mouth was, well, you never know.
You don't know.
And you don't want to play that game where you're getting yourself in a situation, win or go home, and then all of a sudden Anthony Davis isn't available. So D'Angelo Russell, the X factor for me, and this is simple for New Orleans. it's time for Zion to shine. He overcame the injuries. He heard the jokes about how big he was earlier in the season. He's been healthy, and this New Orleans team, with Zion Williamson down the stretch, averaging almost 23 points per game, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, he's going to need to have a stat line where it's 25, 10, and 10 tonight. He is going to have to be an unstoppable force on that floor and try to get this into a track meet in New Orleans and go up and down with the Los Angeles Lakers, because we don't have a Zion moment yet. And this is his time.
I think with the way and how much he slimmed down, the amount of pace that they've been playing with, I want to see his rebounds go up. His minutes are going to go up. His points should go up. He's going to attack the rim. But the thing about him attacking the rim is that you have Anthony Davis there, who's averaging about 3 blocks a game. Okay. He's going to be hunkering down on the defensive end. So it's going to be tough for them. I think in this game is going to come down on the Pelican side to, can Murphy shoot the ball? Can they make 3-pointers? Can CJ McCollum give you 6 threes and Trey give you another 5 and Herb Jones give you 2? Can they outshoot the Los Angeles Lakers? Because if you have Zion attacking the paint and you have the rim protector that you have in Anthony Davis and Jackson Hayes, it's going to be tough. Yeah. And the Lakers are going to get out and run, and they're going to have lobs, and they're going to get a lot of style points, and that's a momentum drainer.
Yeah, I'm not looking for a lot of defense in this matchup, Lakers and Pelicans tonight. Sometimes it's simple. You don't need to overthink. This has to be Zion Williamson showing that he can be one of the best players in the game and has that potential. He's overcome the injuries. He's got himself in shape, and he has the moment at home against LeBron James and the Lakers. When you're looking at Warriors and Kings for Sacramento, they're a team that they were sitting in the 6th seed for a little while, and then they got hurt. They lost Malik Monk. They lost Kevin Huerter to injuries. And now they are so hyper-focused on that starting 5. Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox, they can cause trouble. No doubt about it. But for the Golden State Warriors, their thing is the big 3. And yes, it's still Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and Draymond Green. My thing is, what Draymond Green are you getting? Because I think Steph Curry is going to have a game where you look up and he's got 35 points, 7-8 assists. He's going to be doing his thing in Sacramento. Can Draymond Green frustrate Domantas Sabonis enough?
I hope so.
I think that's going to be what turns the tide for the Warriors. If they get that Draymond Green that's locked in, that's facilitating, that is the X factor for them defensively, that is how they beat the Sacramento Kings. And by the way, the Warriors are 3.5-point favorites in Sacramento tonight.
I mean, I see why. These teams know each other very, very well.
Played a playoff series last year.
You know me. I know you. I know what set you're going to run. I know what plays you're going to run coming out of timeouts. It's going to be a game of runs. And I look for Draymond Green to be a little bit more aggressive on the offensive end as well. You know, you see times where the Warriors are in games and they're blowing teams out. Back in the day, that's when Draymond's getting 15 points, 18 points, making 3 threes. I need him to shoot the ball this game if you're Steve Kerr, looking for them to win. And Draymond said, I hate the play-in, but I love the play-in. You know, and on his podcast,
opportunity.
He hates the play-in because it makes you hyper-focused on the last month and a half of the NBA season, but it just elevates the game so much. The stakes are raised. And you have, again, the Warriors, they won more games than they did last year. And they're the 10th seed. When last year they were automatically in the playoffs. So it just creates a better game, a better matchup for them. And it's going to be a team of, come down to who runs the best plays and who makes the best shots. And can you live with what you're letting the other team do? And I don't know. It's going to be a great game.
It's fun. It's one or done for the Warriors and Kings tonight. 2 opportunities for the Lakers and Pelicans. What do you think? Are the icons going to take over? Is LeBron James and Steph Curry going to set the tone for their respective teams with the play-in tournament to get tonight? The Western Conference gets us started. The Eastern Conference will be tomorrow. Kenny Thomas The Lobo legend, former NBA forward, is going to sit down in studio with us coming up at 9 o'clock. We're going to discuss the X factors in these games. Of course, Kenny, the former Sacramento King, Houston Rocket, and Philadelphia 76ers. So he has some skin in the game when it comes to that Warriors-Kings matchup. We're going to break that down with Kenny Thomas coming up at 9 a.m. 505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line this morning. When we come back on the other side, it was announced. And when Father Patino went to St. John's, and a Lobo fan, you said it's only a matter of time before you got that game. And it looks like you're going to get that game. We're going to dive into that for Lobo basketball, what it means for their schedule. He's Cy Riley, fresh off 4 years playing linebacker at the University of New Mexico. Less hits in the morning. That's one thing. Less contact here on the opening drive. JJ Buck, Bob Walpole with you here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
When you have sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service.
Patino versus Patino and MSG. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. JJ Buck, Cy Riley with you this morning. And we saw Richard Patino and Rick Patino face off on Iona, came to the pit to play the Lobos 2 years ago. Well, Richard Patino gets a job at St. John's last season, and it was not in the cards then, but it is now. Patino versus Patino. It's going down. Lobos, St. John's. First was reported by John Rothstein on the X yesterday, the CBS Sports reporter, and it has been confirmed that the Lobos are playing a one-off bye game versus St. John's. Date yet to be determined. Amount of money for the game yet to be determined. But that's going to be a fantastic non-conference basketball game for the Lobos. And you know what I appreciate? Both Richard and Rick Pitino embracing this. And I know Richard Pitino, anytime around that Iona game, he wasn't his favorite thing to do, but he understands, like, this is a huge story. People are going to want to talk about it. We're going to ask about his dad all the time. And it's not just that. This is a good non-conference game for the Lobos. And these are the challenges. And Richard did go on X later and joke that his dad was ducking the return game to the pit, which might be a little bit. He might be a little bit for this not to be a home and home. But that's the thing for the Lobos. As good as you think they are, this is a game you have to play when it comes to non-conference scheduling. You're going to have to take some one-and-done true road games. It's the way it is. It's the mid-major basketball teams are not going to get a lot of these power conference teams to your home building. So you got to go out there and take some chances. And this was an easy game to sign off on. Going to Madison Square Garden, playing in that building. Oh, no, yeah, it's St. John's, which, they're going to be in contention to be a tournament team. So it's good for your resume. It's going to get your fan base hyped up. It's going to be a lot of people wearing cherry and silver, hopping on planes, going to New York. It was only a matter of time, but now it's here. And I know Lobo fans are already excited and just waiting for that date so they can try to make their way out there.
It's going to be a win-win for both schools. St. John's barely missing out on the tournament last year, declining the NIT. The Lobos making the tournament, winning the Mountain West Conference Championship. It's going to be a win-win. They both are going to need it for their resumes. Rick is 2-1 in the matchup with his son, so I know Coach Pitino will be, or Richard Pitino would be looking to tie that up. But it's going to be a highly good contest. No Mashburn Jr., he hit the portal, obviously, but they're still going to have True Washington, JT, Top, and Nelly is coming back with Mustafa. It's going to be a good ball game.
Yeah, of course, and Donovan Dent in the backcourt. And that's one of the biggest things now is not just what you're adding to your team, player retention. And so far, so good for the Lobos. And you're going to be on the edge of your seat at the end of any season. And I know Lobo basketball fan was, especially with JT Toppin and Donovan Dent and any one of those guys now at this point in time, kind of waiting and Rich Pitino has talked about it a lot. It's, for re-recruiting your team first and then attacking the portal. But, for the Lobos playing this game in Madison Square Garden at St. John's, it's one that you immediately go, when's the date? Oh, it's not announced yet. How do you find your way?
Yeah.
Because that's also, it's a mecca of basketball. Yeah. Madison Square Garden, playing that game. And it is going to be a lot of fun. Because you look at, when Iona came to town December 18th, 2022, and Lobos won that game 82-74. And that was the first time that Lobo fans got a look at Nelly Jr. Joseph when he was playing with Iona before he eventually transferred to UNM. There's so many good storylines in this, and I appreciate both guys because I know I asked Richard Pitino this before. I'm not the only one. He doesn't run away from being Rick Pitino's son, but he's also trying to show, hey, I'm doing this on my talents too. Yeah. Because that's a shadow you're never getting out of. Yeah. Like, oh, you're here because you get these opportunities because. So I do appreciate that he wants to play these games, and he knows that, yeah, this is a great game for the headlines, get the fans excited. This is a great game for the resume, as you mentioned. Like, you need to find those good, true non-conference road games. That's what you need, because it still blows my mind that if the Lobos lost that title game on Saturday, they wouldn't have been in the NCAA tournament.
Absolutely crazy. It's crazy. And that's the beauty with college basketball, is that you just don't know. And there's some things that you should be absolutely certain about. I know all of Lobo Nation, myself included, was very certain that we were going to go to the March Madness.
You're in. You got yourself to the title game. You have wins. You beat Boise State, beat Colorado State, plus the wins that you had in the regular season. And then the committee chair's like, they were a bid stealer. What? Wow. But you cut down nets. Got the job done. So for the Lobos, the non-conference schedule's going to be big. And you're going to have to take some more of these opportunities. Maybe it's only once a year, but you're going to have to go do some true one-off road games. And they've done that. They had it at St. Mary's the last 2 years. Maybe the formula is two of those. 2 true road games at St. Mary's, at St. John's, and then you play your MTEs, and then you fill your home schedule so you make your dates. But that's what you're going to have to do, especially with the Mountain West going to a 20-game conference schedule. I know it frustrates some teams. San Diego State's doing a lot of crying out there about it. Well, guess what? Just don't. You know what that means? You don't play D2 schools. You just take them off. Or if you do, you have your one transition game, whether it's around the holiday break early in the season where you play a Eastern or Western New Mexico like that. You just don't play multiple of those games. You have to attack. You have to build your schedule. You have to take chances in the non-conference, because it's evident that it's already hard to get in the NCAA tournament. Yeah. And when you had the Mountain West Conference that got 6 teams in, and only got 6 teams in because the Lobos had to go out there and win the Mountain West tournament, with that net ranking, with what they did, got to step up.
And that's the beauty of him coming out and saying that we were a bid stealer, because now we can act upon that. We can schedule games that we otherwise might not have scheduled to boost our resume, to give ourselves a better chance to not become a bid stealer. If we don't win the Mountain West tournament, which we're always going for, that we're automatically, that we could be in.
That's the place you want to get to.
Yeah.
Is being on the right side of the bubble constantly, more times than not. And with the Mountain West Conference, they're looking to do that. There was some news from Colorado State. What does it mean? Because anytime a coach gets a pay bump, then all of a sudden ADs are looking at their phone going, oh, might be an agent calling me. The trickle-down effect from what happened in Colorado State yesterday. We're also looking into what do you want to see the Lobos do in the transfer portal, because retention is good. Right now, the Lobos would have a really good starting 5. Not a lot of teams can say that because they're still building their roster. So we're going to get into the trickle-down effect, what happened with Colorado State, and then a peek at what the Lobos could add as the transfer portal is open and roster building never sleeps. He is Cy Riley, fresh up 4 years playing linebacker at UNM. JJ Bucket is the opening drive here at 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We're all moving a little faster now.
Trust the team that's going to keep up with you.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors.
What you're looking for is you're in the mix until the very end. The opening drive, J.J. Buck, Cy, Riley with you. 505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line. Text line says, UNM was without question a bid stealer. This is evident in the domination they received at the hands of Clemson. It was not even competitive. That doesn't mean, to me, the results of the NCAA tournament, to me, don't say if you're an NCAA tournament team or not. That's the easy thing to do. Oh, you got beat in round one. You shouldn't have been there. No, I think the Lobos should have been an NCAA tournament team, and they got beat by a Clemson team that went to the Elite Eight. I don't look at that and say, well, I'm going to ignore the entire season, the body of work, the games they played against other NCAA tournament teams, what they did to build their resume, and say because Clemson beat them, they don't deserve to be there. I know it's an easy way to look at it, but that's not how that works either.
Given any 40 minutes, any team can win. If the ball doesn't go in the hoop and you let the other team score more points,
was it an incredibly frustrating game? Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was a super disappointing game.
Yeah.
To go out there and be dominated. They were physically dominated. But because they were dominated by Clemson, to me, that doesn't change what their resume is. Because that's not how the NCAA tournament is supposed to work.
Yeah.
In terms of selecting and finding those at-large teams. But what it does, gives you a little bit of a different mindset going into the offseason. For the Lobos, you can feel good about what's returning, but you know you got to get a little bit better. And so right now you have Donovan True Washington, Mustafa Amsil, JT Top, and Nelly Jr. Joseph. That could be your starting five. Not too bad. I do question if Mustafa could play the three that much the entire season, but that's why I think there's two things Richard Pitino and the staff are really going to focus on. I think they do want a bigger wing, so a true small forward / player that they just haven't had in a while. And a big man that will be willing to be a rotation guy. So you can have someone behind JT, Nelly, play Mustafa at the 3 a little bit more, because there are some lineups that I do like Amsdale at the 4. Stretch the floor. I thought, late in the season, effort-wise was there. At times, could he get beat inside defensively? Yeah, because that's not truly his game. But I like the versatility that brings them. And, of course, Braden Applehans, Quentin Webb are still at UNM. And Webb could be that swing piece, too. You look at 6'6", and he looks like he's been in a weight room since he's 7 years old. And it's just, it's finding the opportunities for these players. And you got Cade Dotson, a freshman from Beaumont, Texas, coming in. Jovan Milosevic, 6'10" forward from Toronto that's currently playing out in Glendale, Arizona. So you're adding the pieces, but I do think for sure more of a true small forward wing player, in that 6'6" to 6'8" range, and then a shooter. And I think that's the biggest thing is, can you find a consistent shooter in that backcourt? And it's someone that can play off the ball, because you have Donovan Dent. So I think those, at least to me, would be the two things that the Lobos would have at the top of their wish list in the transfer portal.
Yeah, I think finding another big is very pivotal for a program. We've been there. We won the Mountain West Championship on the backs of Jalen House, Jamal Mashburn, Donnie, JT, Nelly. And that's the thing that I love about college basketball that's so unique from the NBA. You're not seeing those typical big men in the NBA, playing the type of basketball that college bigs are playing. Like we're feeding the post. We're getting our big men the ball. You know, in the NBA, it's more a run and go, just, you know, getting up threes and stuff. But
let's look at Zach Edey.
Yeah. Like
carrying Purdue all the way to the title game.
It's hard to find dominant big men in today's game, and so I think that should be the primary focus of having, just in case, you know, JT or Nelly get into some foul trouble, they have another big that they can rely on that's willing to be rotational, willing to go in and out of the lineup, given the matchups of who they're playing.
Yeah, and depth is nice. It's hard to find because coaches will get hyper-focused on their rotations. And this is the challenge, because you want depth. I know we scream about it all the time. We get the emails, we get the texts. Where's the playing time going to come from? Oh, this guy should be playing more. But it's one of those things that if you look at rotations, they get tight. And now it's, can you find enough throughout the regular season that will get you to the end where you want to be? And for the Lobos, I think that's at the top of their wish list. They just a true shooter and another wing player, you know, that 6'6", 6'8" guy on the perimeter. How you feeling, Lobo fan? 505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and Sports Animal text line. So Niko Medved, Colorado State head coach, got a 5-year contract extension. They tacked on also 2 one-year options on to that. It was announced yesterday. So we got a 7-year deal for the Rams head coach worth nearly $13 million. So he's going to start about $1.1 million, work his way up to $1.3 million with the life of the contract. And of course, Niko Medved been at Colorado State 6 seasons, 2 NCAA tournament appearances. Colorado State won a game. Last year was a playing game. They handled Virginia before getting beat by Texas. And this is now what you look at. It's that consistency in the coaching. And then it's the coaching salaries. Can you keep these guys around? Because guess what? Every single one of these jobs is a stepping stone. Yes, UNM would be a stepping stone. The power program came and threw a bunch of money at Richard Pitino. That's the way it is. But as long as you have these guys, how do you stay competitive? When we come back on the other side, we'll look at the trickle-down effect, where Niko Medved and Colorado State are in terms of coaching salaries, and then the consistency in the Mountain West Conference. The coaches that have stuck around, the coaches that are building the conference. And what does that mean? Because anytime a coach gets a raise, all these other guys are going to look at their contract and go, do I need to talk to my agent? Maybe my athletic director. That's coming up next here on The Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Allstate.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, brah. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most.
Ryan Dutcher rolling on at San Diego State. And with his extension, he's going to be about $1.5 million by the end of the 2025-26 season. He's got Richard Pitino, New Mexico floating around $1 million. With Leon Rice is doing a base salary around $800,000 at Boise State. And then Kevin Kruger, UNLV, and we saw UNLV get hot at the end of the season. Talent-wise, they were right there. We saw how the Lobos struggled with UNLV this season, and what they're hoping, and really just for the Mountain West, is you can keep getting that talent in there and then turn that corner. And then UNLV can be one of those teams that helps rise the tide when you go into, of course, conference play, keeping those games high, especially with a 20-game conference schedule coming up. Having a good strength of schedule, having a good net record so the games matter. Fresno State's got a new head coach. They fired Justin Hudson. They hired Vance Wahlberg. So Vance Wahlberg is going to be an interesting person to watch. He has JUCO experience. He's flirted with some coaching time, assistant coaching time in the NBA, but he's been a high school coach in Fresno for a long time. So Fresno State, staying local, going the high school coach their route there. Of course, Jeff Linder in Wyoming. And then Utah State's been the job that you just keep your fingers crossed that if you're successful, you can keep your coach. Danny Sprinkle went in there, won the Mountain West in 1 year, brought great players with him in the transfer portal, and then got the Washington job. But that job, you look at Ryan Odom, he was making about $800,000 before he took the VCU job this past season, and Danny Sprinkle came in, so he's around that area. And now they have Jared Calhoun, who was at 7 seasons at Youngstown State. And then, of course, you got Tim Miles at San Jose State, and then Joe Scott doing his thing at Air Force. So it's just running down the coaches in the Mountain West Conference and kind of looking at the salaries. And if you're at the top of the Mountain West Conference, these coaches, they're winning games, they're cutting down nets. You're seeing, all right, that's getting close to about $1.5 million, which you're going to have to pay your coach. And, that's something that, the Lobos are always going to be looking at and saying, all right, we're kicking a little bit more here, a little bit more there, not just for a head coach, but assistant coach salaries. Like, that's keeping up with the top of your conference. That's trying to find some consistency. And that's the game you got to play.
Patino said recruiting back the players on your team. The university's got to recruit back the coaches that they have. I mean, you're always, as a college basketball coach, like, you're always going to be pocket watching, seeing the guys that are in your conference, how much they're getting paid and how much, they're winning. And that's why you're seeing the buyouts go up and up, because, other schools are looking. Other schools are looking to snag their guy, quote unquote, the next big thing. And so, yeah, you're gonna continue to see this trend of the excellent coaches getting paid a lot more, but the buyouts are gonna still increase.
The buyouts are kind of the way you protect yourself on the back end as an institution. How do you feel about that as a player? Like, do you guys kind of understand that, hey, it's part of the business? Like, if there's a really successful coach or a really successful season, that could just mean a change for a lot of people.
Absolutely. And I think that's why you see players continue to play so hard and then follow their coaches to their new school. Because if your coach is getting paid more to go somewhere else for the success that you just brought him, he's probably going to end up taking you so that he could bring that success to his new spot. So we have no problems with this. Sometimes if you're a French guy, if you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out with your coach, that can be a little bit scary because, again, you then have an opportunity to enter the transfer portal once your coach goes to another school. But for guys that have a good relationship with the coaches who play a lot of ball and have been bringing success to the program, working well with the coaches, then, yeah, you don't have a problem with it, because then all this a quick text being like, hey, coach, what we doing? Are you got a spot for me over there? Like, so, yeah, as a player, at least for me, I don't have a problem with it. As long as you're winning, that's the main thing.
Yeah. Winning usually solves most things, but it's interesting, seeing Nico Medved stick around. That's good for the Mountain West Conference, because that's what you're looking at is, what you're getting from San Diego State. And with Richard Pitino, the last 2 years, the Lobos thrown their name into the mix of being able to be a conference contender, bring in the good metrics. And that stuff matters. When we talk about metrics and net rankings, I know you can go numb as a fan. You just hear all these numbers, especially once you get to March. But especially now with a 20-game schedule and those 2 extra games in conference play, the 2 extra games, unfortunately, you could end up playing the bottom of the conference that you missed out, or you get 2 better games on your schedule. So you just hope that top half, you can find 6 to 7 teams that are consistently top, really 125 to 150 teams in the net rankings. And part of that is finding some stability as long as you can at the coaching position. And so Nico Medved gets his contract extension in Colorado State. Richard Pitino is returning. Steve Alford, Brian Dutcher, Leon Rice. I think Kevin Kruger is on the up, especially UNLV ended the season. Nice run in the NIT. And that is how you're going to continue to get looks and hopefully put yourself in position to be a multi-bid league once again when it comes to the NCAA tournament. 505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and Text Line. We'll talk with Kenny Thomas, the Lobo legend, NBA forward, coming up at 9 a.m. We'll get his thoughts on the Lobos going to Madison Square Garden to play St. John's next season, and also what UNM should be looking at in the transfer portal, because they got a strong core coming back, but you can always look to get better. And, of course, break down the playing game. It is here. Are the Icons going to win the day? Lakers, Pelicans tonight. Those two teams have two chances to win and get in. So the winner of the Lakers-Pelicans game tonight, they will be the 7th seed, and they will play the Denver Nuggets. And then you have the win-or-go-home game, Golden State at Sacramento, as the winner of that game will play the loser of the 7-8 game for a chance to be the number 8 seed and play the Oklahoma City Thunder. We come back on the other side of practice. Voluntary workout. So if a player does not show up, is it a story? Is it a headline? Does it even matter? Some big-time Dallas Cowboys kicking back. Right now, what does it mean in Big D? It's coming up next here on The Sports Animal.
Last year, you gave us books, and
we would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Meyer here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
For surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
it's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bond.
It's voluntary. But when the stars don't show up, people are going to ask questions. Does it mean anything? Maybe they just want a little longer vacation. That's all stuff that could be true. It could mean absolutely nothing. But anytime it's a star involved, maybe at the end of their contract, they're looking for their first big contract extension. Oh, and especially when it's this team, people are going to be asking questions. What it do? Welcome into the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. JJ Buck alongside Cy Riley. It's finished up 4 years playing linebacker at the University of New Mexico. Kicking it with us here on the opening drive. And for the Dallas Cowboys, voluntary workouts began this week, and Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb did not show up, and it is still, quote-unquote, voluntary workouts. So Lamb's absence has gone from expected to actual. Now, CeeDee Lamb isn't the only player with a contract extension looming. You have, what are they going to do with Dak Prescott? Dak Prescott is getting paid, but he's in the final year of his deal. Michael Parsons also eligible for an extension, and part of this, it is just business. It's, why put yourself in position to get hurt if you're CeeDee Lamb or Michael Parsons early on when you haven't got that contract extension? Now, it feels like it's a no-brainer. Like, it's coming at some point in time. But I think the biggest question is, you're Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys, what do you do moving forward? Because you didn't restructure and or extend Dak Prescott. And that's telling everyone maybe you're ready for something new. Maybe you are thinking about what that team could be like post-Dak Prescott, because a contract extension, a restructure would have given them cap relief for this season. But to me, it's pretty telling that they weren't worried about trying to find cap relief this season. They said, we actually don't want to overextend Dak Prescott right now. And, sometimes situations, they've just ran its course. And is that what we're looking at in Dallas? With Dak Prescott, they'll go out there, see how far they can go, but has Dak ran his course in Dallas? Because when you look at this contract situation, knowing that CeeDee Lamb's going to get paid, Micah Parsons is going to get paid,
it's a tough thing. And here's the reality of the situation. Dak Prescott has not lived up to Jerry Jones's standard, but neither has any other Dallas Cowboy.
It's been 28 years since an NFC Championship game.
Forever. I wasn't even a thought in the
before
universe.
You were alive.
Yes. I'm only 21. So it's been a very long time. And I feel like the quarterback is always going to be the out for Jerry Jones, and rightfully so, because the quarterback is the most important position on your football team. But this isn't just about Dak Prescott. This isn't about CeeDee Lamb. This is about Jerry Jones and his desire to win a Super Bowl. And do you have the team that can do that right now? No. But what do you do during free agency? You stand pat. You say, we're all right. We're a good football team.
They went from all in to not all about it.
No. And so, yeah, you probably will see Dak Prescott in another uniform at some point in his career. Is it this season? Is it next season? I don't think so, because the options aren't too great if I'm the Dallas Cowboys for quarterbacks coming to next year's class, maybe the year after that. But it's just a tough thing for Dak Prescott. So I don't see them restructuring his deal. Maybe franchise tag him. Possibly I see them paying Micah Parsons, because, again, if you have a solid edge rusher, a definitive defensive player of the year caliber type of type of guy on your team, you're going to want to retain that because you don't just let him walk for free. So they'll probably re-sign Micah Parsons here at some point, but Dak Prescott going to be tough.
This is the one where it's the expectations that come with playing quarterback in the NFL. It's the over-the-top expectations when you're the Dallas Cowboys. But the one thing, I know Cowboy fans, they're done with Jerry Jones. Like, you'll get people like, can't wait till he's gone, and the Cowboys winning him. But I appreciate the fact he wants to win, and he's trying to win. There's a lot of owners that care more about the dollars and cents as opposed to doing what they can to win. And, sometimes you find yourself in a situation where you can't quite push in all the dollars and cents, and you still want to win, and that's where Dallas is. And so I, not living the life of a Cowboy fan every single day, don't have the same animosity towards Jerry Jones because he's vocal, he wants to win, he's about his franchise, he's about the celebrity, he's about money, as he should be as an NFL owner. But the Dak Prescott thing is fascinating because I'm pro Dak Prescott, I guess, if there was a thing. I think Dak Prescott can win you a lot of football games. He has.
Absolutely.
And winning 12 games in the NFL is not an easy thing to do. Now, have they lived up to the expectations in the playoffs coming off 12-win seasons? No. And so that's where you get to this point. And it's a hard point to be in, but sometimes you just have to rip that Band-Aid off. And that's what a good case study in this is looking at the Minnesota Vikings. There is not always a natural transition or a no-brainer move when you move on from a quarterback. Because I think Kirk Cousins and Dak Prescott are very comparable.
Yeah.
Made a lot of money. You're expecting more success from them. Didn't get that. And so Minnesota kind of ripped off the Band-Aid. They're like, we've been here, done that with Kirk Cousins. And plus, Kirk has the Achilles injury and a little more uncertainty there.
Yeah.
And so Minnesota says, all right, we'll make the transition from Kirk. So they're in a situation where they have 11, went out there and got 23. So they're trying to move up. And now for Dallas, I don't think they're going to be at the point where they're going to necessarily have a top 12 draft pick next year like the Vikings do. But it's looking at, all right, that's what it looks like when you move off of a good quarterback.
Yeah.
There's not certainty. You're not going to be able to just fall yourself into a top 3 NFL draft pick. But sometimes you have to make that move to see what's next, to see what's on the other side. And that's the feeling I get with the Dallas is they're going to go in this year, win their 10, 11 games, go to the playoffs, see what happens, and then say, Dak, thank you, and see what's next.
Yeah, it's a tough place to be because in the NFL, you rather would want to be really, really good or really, really poor. Like, if you're not a good football team, if you don't have a chance at winning the Super Bowl, you don't want to be mediocre. You don't want to be the middleman because you want to be able to start brand new. You look at the Houston Texans. Been a very terrible franchise for the past couple of years. And then what do? They get a C.J. Stroud. They get a Will Anderson. They get a Tank Dell. They get a Nico Collins. They started over from scratch. And now this year we're projecting them to probably make the AFC divisional game, possibly the AFC championship. So you don't want to be a middle team, which I find the Dallas Cowboys in. They're in a easy division besides the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't see Washington Commanders. They're probably going to draft their rookie quarterback. I don't see them having double-digit wins this year. New York Giants doesn't have an offense. So they're probably going to get, the best shot from the Philadelphia Eagles. If they can beat out the Eagles, they'll win the division. They'll be in the playoffs. But that can't be the ceiling for them in Jerry Jones's eyes. It's either Super Bowl or bust. So if you're not gonna reach the Super Bowl, if you're not gonna do the things that you need to win the Super Bowl, then you got to go bust.
Yeah, and so this is interesting. This is fascinating because I am a little bit on the other side of that because I also don't think just because you draft one of those top quarterbacks, that's also a place to be. Because if you're constantly a bad franchise, it takes you so long to get that. What the Houston Texans did last year was like once in a decade type of thing. To hit on everything, first year coach, Miko Ryans, rookie quarterback, and then go to the playoffs and play the way they did. But to your point, if you look at the NFL starting quarterbacks, all the projected starters coming into this season before the draft, 19 of the starting quarterbacks in the NFL are first-round picks. So you got to get your guy. Now, do you have to get him high? Well, let's look. Allen, 7, Tua 5. Stroud 2, Lawrence 1. And I'm talking this is where they went overall, not the round.
Yep.
Richardson is a fourth overall pick as he's coming back. Burrow 1, Watson 12, Mahomes 10, Herbert 6. So to your point, that's where you're getting a lot of the franchise guys. And so that's the challenge of when you're not in that situation, when you're the Minnesota Vikings, when you're the Dallas Cowboys, when you're moving off a good quarterback, you're taking a risk, but you have to take a risk to find a change.
Yeah. Super Bowls don't just walk in the door, and there's going to be tough decisions, tough moves that you have to make. And eventually, at some point, the Dallas Cowboys will have to make a tough decision. Either you keep Dak Prescott and stay status quo, or you move on from him, draft a quarterback, move up to draft a quarterback. If that's what you feel you need in your team, the next big quarterback is going to come in and play underneath the Cowboys logo and be able to bear the burden of being the starting quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. If he's able to do that, if that's what you feel is best for the team and for the franchise, then that's what you got to do in order to get yourselves, I think, over the hump.
505-246-0610 Sports Animal Hotline and text line. Is this it? Dak Prescott this season with the Dallas Cowboys. When we come back on the other side, which quarterback coming back from injury is the biggest threat to the Kansas City Chiefs? Talk about that next here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Robert Half.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The UNM athletic department, Chase, Brandon, Dave, Frank. It's been Allison, Colton. It's been great.
And that's what's fun. That's one of my favorite things about working with athletics is people and then getting to know the student athletes and having the opportunity to talk with all you guys and hear your stories, where you came from, what interests you, and that is, one of my favorite things is getting to learn about people.
Yeah,
and the stories, because everyone comes from a different background, but then to all have that buy-in and say, hey, we're going to be Lobos and we're going to work for this common goal. It's awesome, and especially what you guys can do. It's a different vibe when you're able to kind of sit back and chop it up with student athletes, and that's what's fun about a podcast like what you guys do is, you're going to get kind of different answers and a different energy than if someone else was sitting down with those players, and those are the fun things, and it's great to see, and you can tell it works because you've been confident, you've been clear, and it's been a lot of fun.
Thank
talking
you.
with you on the radio so far. He's hanging out with us this week. As, of course, Jeff Simeon, if you didn't notice, he's out of town. I know all y'all blowing up his email because what you do, Jeff, send in an email. He's going to read them on Monday because he ain't here this week. So the quarterback coming back from injury, which one is a bigger threat to the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes? Is it Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets, or is it Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals? Now, we've seen the Bengals do it. Joe Burrow has won those games. Joe Burrow is 3-1 against the Kansas City Chiefs. And Burrow knows how to play that game. So the New Heights podcast, Jason Kelsey, Travis Kelsey, they were popping off in Cincinnati because they are Bearcat. Yep. And they were doing a live recording in Cincinnati. And, of course, if you're in Cincinnati, who has to come out? The quarterback of the Bengals, Joe Burrow. And Joe played up. He's chopping up with Jason Kelsey and Travis Kelsey. And Joe Burrow on the New Heights podcast was talking about how Cincinnati's built to beat Kansas City. Joe Burrow said, quote, I don't know. I think we both worked really hard. They have great players. We have great players. I think we match up pretty well with them. I think we are built to beat them. I always appreciate the legendary battles that we have. End quote. Love it. I love it from Joe Burrow because he is that dude. He brought that swag with him from LSU to Cincinnati. He took the Bengals to the Super Bowl. But of the quarterbacks coming back, Joe Burrow and his Bengals, Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, which one is the bigger threat to Kansas City?
It's got to be the guy that always seems to take them to overtime or the last possession. It's Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals with Patrick Mahomes. You know you're going to need to outscore him. Like, there's no stopping him from scoring points. And Jamar Chase with, before it was Joe Mixon and, you know, T. Higgins coming back, but now they have the Colts running back.
I got Zach Moss in there.
Yeah, Zach Moss. It's going to be a really, really, really fun season. And I expect Joe Burrow, because he's been there, done that with the Kansas City Chiefs. He's proven that he can beat Patrick Mahomes when it really counts. I see them being a great threat to the Kansas City Chiefs coming off an injury, being able to watch his team play hard and rest and recovered.
I think it is Cincinnati. Yeah. But so here's the question. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers, 42 years old, coming off a torn Achilles.
Yeah.
But also Joe Burrow, where you look at and go, had the calf injury in training camp last year. Got injured in week 11, did not play the rest of the year. Injured in 2020 with the ACL.
Hasn't been pretty with him.
Who do you trust more? Is it the old guy coming off the ruptured Achilles? Or is it the younger quarterback that's been hit or miss in Joe Burrow? Injuries happen, and it is just part of the game. But that's because the amount of faith that the Jets still put in Aaron Rodgers coming back, like that gave them the ultimate excuse last year. Anything went wrong, coaching decisions. Is Robert Saleh any good? What does this team look like roster-wise? Like, it doesn't matter because Aaron Rodgers is coming back.
Yeah.
And so that's what's on his shoulders. But we've seen it. Joe Burrow's proven he can take those guys to the Super Bowl.
It's a tough scenario, but here's how I look at it. Who has the better surrounding pieces? And when I look at the New York Jets, they have Garrett Wilson, they have Quinnen Williams, they have a newly established left tackle in Tyron Smith. Now, can he stay healthy?
Yep.
Is he going to be
banking on a bet?
Yep. Especially with how Aaron Rodgers has been, first drive of the season last year, been hurt.
4 plays.
Yeah.
4 plays in.
So, can you protect him? Can you defend him? And then when it comes to Joe Burrow, can he stay on the field too? It's going to be a matter of the pieces around him. Like I said yesterday, can you protect him? Can you rush the passer? And do you have a good, quarterback? I would tend to go Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, but
let's get into that next. Let's talk about the protection and what this offensive line is going to look like. Because could the biggest threat to the Kansas City Chiefs be quarterbacks coming off injury in Joe Burrow and Aaron Rodgers? We don't have to worry about protection because this is an experience that you're going to learn about the city of Albuquerque. Tristy is here, the operations manager, Tour ABQ. Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic, and it's time for our sweet deal. This goes live on our website, 9 a.m., sportsanimалabq.com. $35 will get you 2 tickets to the best Albuquerque city tours. And this one, to me, is fascinating because you think you live in a town, or like, I know my town. I don't need to go on a tour, but I think you do, because you're going to learn a whole lot.
Exactly. It's great when you have family in town, but then when you're on it, you're like, oh, I had no idea. I lived here my whole life, and I learned stuff when I went out for the first time. Very cool.
And what kind of experiences you look at? The Albuquerque Trolley Company, the Duke City Peddler, the Ghost Walk, which I've done that in the past. That is a whole lot.
It's very cool.
Fun. What kind of experiences are people going to get that? They're like, well, I walk around, I drive around Albuquerque all the time.
Right.
What am I going to?
Right. So on the trolley, it's guided and narrated, and there's a video component. So you're learning history. I had no idea. There's so much about this city, that you'll be surprised. You'll be shocked at some of the stuff you learn. And, we go to some film spots, of course, which everyone loves, out-of-towners and locals. I found some places I was like, oh, I don't know, that's where Breaking Bad, that part was. So it's very cool. And the Albuquerque Ghost Walk, there's so many cool stories about Old Town and things that have happened. And I had no clue. And the peddler, you just get to drive around to bars and drink. So that's fun. You learn something new every time you do that.
And so it's different experiences that you can get with our sweet deal. Of course, $35 gets you 2 tickets. And so you can choose a Ghost Walk. You can choose the Duke City Peddler, the trolley. And you said it's going to get a different experience, different vibe with you.
Each thing, exactly. And by the way, the Trolley Company is celebrating its 15-year anniversary on Cinco de Mayo. So they've been doing this tour for 15 years, which is crazy. Wow. And I have people who still come back who've been going on it for years, and they still come back each time saying they learned something different. They're like, oh, I don't remember that from the last one. Each guide does it a little differently, too, so you'll get a new experience. So everything's got its own special characteristic. It's super fun.
And this is great, too. The weather's changing. You want to be outside.
Perfect time of year.
It's nice, and it's different experiences, whether it's the trolley, the peddler, the Ghost Walk. It's going to take you around town. You're going to learn new things, and it's going to have some fun, do something different. This is what you want to do.
Yeah, it's the thing to do.
And if people want more information, where can they go?
Definitely go to tourabq.com. You can call me. I'm at the box office Wednesday through Sunday at 505-200-2642. Or you can email info@tourabq.com.
It is our sweet deal. It goes live at 9 a.m. Get to our website, sportsanimалabq.com. $35 gets you 2 tickets. You can pick which one you want to tour Albuquerque on. Tristy, thank you so much for coming in and joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Excited. I need to go check out Albuquerque now.
Yeah,
we got to take you outside.
Look, when I first came here in 2020, I did the Ghost Walk.
Did you?
At night. With my auntie, and we were taking pictures of the trees and different buildings, trying to see orbs. I think special orbs and stuff. So
never know what you're gonna catch.
Yeah, you don't.
And Jordan's a great tour guide. He's amazing. I'm sure he's the one who did it. Yeah, he's very cool.
You go and see. You come to town. You can look at ghosts and so much more. That's the sweet deal. It goes live at 9 a.m. Tristy, once again, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We continue after this here on The Sports Animal.
Right now, we're looking at a crack.
would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Evergard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Adventure is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Around restaurants and breweries. Sounds like a lot of fun to Raleigh. Enjoy the city. I know at times you get so negative with everything that's going on. enjoy it.
Yeah.
Great time of year to get outside.
I know.
In the spring.
This is the perfect opportunity for the city of Albuquerque, especially as you're finishing the school year, to go outside and just revel in the summertime. You know, like that's what. Shout out to my dad because he just texted me, "Hey man, I was on that family tour too." So shout out family. That's what we like to do, you know. And the city of Albuquerque and the state of New Mexico has such great spots for all of it.
And folks, this is coming from someone not in Mexico, coming from a California kid who committed to play for the Lobos, and is now said, you know what, Albuquerque ain't too bad.
Yeah, it's not.
And that's that's what colleges do. That's what athletics does. It brings a different light to your city. It brings new people into your community. And that's another thing I love about athletics is bringing people together from so many different walks of life, the entire world, to your city and become part of your community. That is Cy Riley. He just wrapped up playing 4 years, the linebacker at the University of New Mexico. JJ Buck with you here on the opening drive. So we're talking about protection, offensive line protection, and two quarterbacks coming off injury, Joe Burrow and Aaron Rodgers. Could they be the biggest threat to the Kansas City Chiefs? And this is an AFC where, yes, you got C.J. Stroud on the up and up. Can Trevor Lawrence get it going? Josh Allen still going to do his thing in Buffalo, even with the move off Stephon Diggs. We'll look at what they do offensively. But your attention turns to Cincinnati because they had a recent history of success against Kansas City when Joe Burrow is healthy. And the Jets, because I think they do have a good foundation on that roster. But it's keeping these quarterbacks healthy. You mentioned Tyron Smith, veteran offensive lineman who goes from Dallas to the New York Jets. And then with Cincinnati, was it last year they signed Orlando Brown in the offseason. So these are two teams that I'm looking at offensive line in the first.
Yeah.
New York Jets at 10, going offensive tackle, offensive guard, best available there. And same thing with Cincinnati at 18. It's keep these guys healthy and upright.
Yeah. And you need to, with the New York Jets, Tyron Smith hasn't been available for much of the part of a couple of NFL seasons, now stringing together. Last year, Elijah Vera Tucker was also hurt. He was a first-round draft pick from USC. So you need to protect your quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers, he's not getting younger. The window is shortening. You have all these guys. The time is now. If I'm a New York Jet, the Cincinnati Bengals just locked up Joe Burrow for presumably the prime of his career. His prime will probably be, stretched for another 8 years, but the prime of his career. So I see more urgency. I should see more urgency from the New York Jets than the Cincinnati Bengals. Not to say that the Cincinnati Bengals aren't, don't have Super Bowl aspirations, but if I'm a New York Jets fan, that's what I'm looking at: the health and the well-being of my quarterback in the offensive line.
That's the season. That's everything. They were everything that was questions about the New York Jets last year. The answer was, well, Aaron Rodgers is coming back. Well, what do you think about the defense? Aaron Rodgers is coming back. What do you think about the coaching? Aaron Rodgers is coming back. Like, that was the answer to every question, is keeping these guys healthy. But let's look at the AFC East. You do have Tua and the Dolphins. That Tua played 17 games, stayed healthy. Their playoff matchup, they went into negative 27 and lost to Kansas City. And then Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. How are you feeling if you're the Buffalo Bills? So Stephon Diggs out of town. Obviously, that there was fire brewing under the smoke the last few seasons with Stephon Diggs and the Buffalo Bills, because they were more than willing to ship him out of town for just a second-round pick. That does open up a hole on the offense, especially when Gabe Davis, their wide receiver 2, goes to the Jacksonville Jaguars in free agency. But here's the thing. The quarterback gives that team hope. Last week on the Jim Rome show, offensive lineman Deion Dawkins said, yeah, the team was hit pretty hard by the trade of Stephon Diggs. Said, quote, it hit him like a haymaker. But in terms of questioning the championship window, Dawkins said, quote, it's always open. Like, it could be a little bit more, but nah, it's open. And it's always open as long as you have Josh at quarterback. And, is Josh Allen that dude? Is he one of those quarterbacks that's going to keep the window open regardless?
That's a tricky situation because who are you bringing in and who are you keeping? Well, they didn't keep Stephon Diggs. They didn't keep Gabe Davis, but they still have Dalton Kincaid. And so they should still have Dawson Knox, if I'm not mistaken, too.
So Kincaid, who was their first-round pick last year, the tight end out of Utah, is more one of those kind of flex tight ends. Veteran in Dawson Knox. Khalil Shakir, who I like from Boise State, wide receiver, but to me, he's more of a kind of that slot 2-3 guy. Curtis Samuel, though, is the same thing. So they're in the market for a number one wide receiver, which I think they'll be
draft heavy.
Yeah, and it's a position that there's good guys outside of the top 3 in the draft when it comes to wide receiver.
Yeah, I think there's a legit 8 to 10 wide receivers in this year's draft that should fly off the boards within the first 2 rounds. Given the amount of production that they've had in college, the amount of focus to attention that college football and high school football brings to developing the wide receiver position, the Buffalo Bills, they'll be in talks with some with some wide receivers in this year's draft, and I expect them to draft at least 2 wide receivers and try and bring in a free agent, once the waivers clear, and you never know who's going to go down, who's going to get hurt. So, yeah, they're going to be looking for depth at that receiver position.
Yeah, Buffalo has the 28th pick in the first round. There could be a team looking to make some move, but that's what's fascinating about it, because the AFC East, now all of a sudden, Aaron Rodgers coming back, if he lives up to expectations, that battle with Josh Allen and Tua. Because Josh Allen, you could say, all right, Josh Allen is the best quarterback right now of that group, but he has less to work with than those other guys, because still, Garrett Wilson, legit number 1, Tua doing his point guard duties, to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. And now the Bills in a bit of a transition. They went all in the last couple of years with veteran players, and they had to cut some of those salaries. They had to get younger. So the draft, as it is for every team, important to your future, Bills got a lot of holes to fill. And it's not just wide receiver. It's in the secondary with those safeties. It's finding some linebackers that can make a difference. That's what's going to be fun to watch. But it's also all those players returning from injury. Because you look at Aaron Rodgers, Anthony Richardson, we're yet to see his debut, the 4th overall pick. I mean, in terms of his full rookie season, it's going to be rookie 2.0 for Anthony Richardson. Joe Burrow coming back from injury. What is Deshaun Watson going to be in Cleveland? The Steelers coin flip, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, and then Justin Herbert with Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
AFC has a ton of fascinating questions at the quarterback position. Oh, yeah, that's with asking, is Vegas going to draft a quarterback? Are the Broncos going to draft a quarterback? And then the unknowns like Will Levis or Trevor Lawrence. Now all of a sudden, he's not the brightest star in the AFC South. That goes to CJ Stroud now.
It's a really fun time to be a fan, but it's also a really sucky time to be the AFC team, because you have all these great quarterbacks, these talented quarterbacks, and it's going to be a dogfight each and every week. And so, yeah, like you look at a guy like, Trevor Lawrence, who some say regressed this past season, given the amount of talent that he had to work with. But again, most of the teams in the NFC would die to have a Trevor Lawrence, so it's gonna be a tough sledding for all AFC teams, and yeah, I just love good football. I just love good football.
Of course. Love good football. He's Cy Riley, former Lobo linebacker, with us this morning. 505-246-0610, Sports Hour hotline and text line. When we come back on the other side, the pros, it's different. But the number 1 pick in the WNBA draft is setting more records. And is this a moment that women's basketball can capitalize on? And it's one everyone says, well, the WNBA needs to do this, needs to do that. I'm going to tell you what we need to do for this moment to matter. It's coming up next here on The Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Reality is coming. That's what legend Diana Taurasi said in regards to Caitlin Clark, the number 1 pick in the WNBA draft, and Caitlin Clark is going to be playing for the Indiana Fever. The Iowa legend, fresh off back-to-back national championship appearances, has the world buzzing. So what's next? And how can the WNBA capitalize off of the momentum, the popularity of women's college basketball? The Stars are now taking the next step. Caitlin Clark, Cameron Brink from Stanford, Angel Reese from LSU. They all got drafted last night. And so how do they capitalize on that? The fact that there was crossover, there was interest. That weekend, we had the women's and men's Final Four. That was an amazing 4 days. It was of basketball. And now, how do the Stars carry on? And that's a question that everyone's been asking. Diana Taurasi brought it up and saying, why do people love us then but don't watch us now? And some of that too is, college basketball still has that aura. You buy in to college athletics, your alumni, March Madness. It all, it's you don't have to sell March Madness, whether it's the men's or women's tournament. It sells itself. Now for the WNBA, they have to go out there and sell these stars going to the next level, meshing the new stars with the established veterans and stars of the WNBA. But what does the future look like? Shout out to Isabel Gonzalez, by the way, UNM alum, who's now writing for CBS Sports. she posted a story with some quotes from NBA veterans, WNBA veterans. I thought it was really interesting. So Taurasi's the one that said, reality is coming. We all went through it. And then you have Tamika Catchings, who said, quote, no, this was Nneka Ogwumike, who was the 2012 Rookie of the Year, about how the vets treated her. And she said, quote, in this league, when you get new talents, it's just like any other team. There's people who are trying to make sure that they make the team and they are still the valuable players and their spot is still there. But that's with anything. Like the veterans, you're going to show the rookies what's up.
Yeah.
And with the WNBA, you're going to have those veteran vibes. But you know who it's on? It's on us. It's on us to give them the time of day. It's on us to mention Caitlin Clark this summer. It's on us to talk about when Caitlin Clark plays the defending champ, the Las Vegas Aces, and what it's like. The talent is there, and the WNBA is going to put it out there, but it's on us to consume it if we want to. And pass along those stories. We'll continue to talk about that with the WNBA draft last night. Caitlin Clark going number 1 overall to the Indiana Fever. When we come back on the other side, Kenny Thomas, Lobo legend, former NBA forward, set to be with us in studio. We're talking playing Lobo schedule and so much more. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610.
It's time for the national keyword to win.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Adventure is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hey, look, it's Dwight Goodman.
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Adventure is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
bench. Look at that. Hat on, sunglasses. KT walking in the building, making his entrance. Time for kicking it. Kenny Thomas. Cy Riley, former Lobo linebacker. Kenny Thomas is going to try. Can you get this man some headphones, Bob? And then he'll be back in studio. Lobo legend. 11-year NBA veteran. Should have got some headphones. He's joining us in studio. It's time for Kicking It with Kenny Thomas. Opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610. The Sports Animal, JJ Buck, Cy Riley, and KT. And what a time it is. NBA playing tournament is upon us. We got the icons going tonight. LeBron James, Steph Curry. Can they get it done? Can the Hall of Famers, the legends, getting on? Sorry about that. We should have had the headphones ready.
No, it's all good.
That's our bad.
It's all good, man.
I got the video set up.
You got somebody else in my seat, man. See, you coming in,
I'm
man.
just keeping it warm.
No, I'm just kidding, bro. Nice to meet you, man.
Nice meeting you.
I know it's musical chairs right now with Symbieta out of town, but it's a Lobo takeover. Oh. Lobo linebacker.
Okay.
Lobo forward. I'm a graduate, so there's that. Not a legend of anything, but here we are. Lobo takeover on the opening drive. And it's a winner go home game. Your Sacramento Kings tonight.
Oh, Lord, man.
How you feeling about that matchup against the Golden State Warriors?
First off, I want to say excuse me, my voice out there. My allergies are kicking butt, man. I went to urgent care the other day. My eyes are kind of swollen, but unfortunately, it's the Battle of Northern California is what it's called, right? And obviously the Warriors are in a better position from an overall record. Last year when I was doing NBC Sports, obviously, the Kings were a 3 seed and they ended up playing the Warriors, and they lost to the Warriors in 7 games in the Bay Area, right? But it's going to be interesting. You got Malik Monk out. It's going to be it would be nice to have him on the floor. Kevin Huerter's obviously out for the season with the shoulder injury, but there's a lot of different dynamics that have to come into play during that game because Mike Brown, my friend, great guy, coach for the Sacramento Kings, he's going to come up, him and Jordy, who just might be getting the Brooklyn Nets job now.
All that.
They're going to come up with the game plan, right? Obviously, Mike Brown knows this team, but it's the Warriors, man, and you got Draymond playing some great ball right now, and the Warriors have won 4 rings, and they know how to get it done. That's the only thing that concerns me, right? And the Kings are young and still trying to figure out some things, and there's a couple pieces that are probably missing from the Kings right now, but with Malik Monk, man, it's going to be a huge task.
Yeah, because you're looking at now, it's that much more on, say, Keegan Murray or Donovan Mitchell, these guys, first or second year players that have to step up and fill that role, because you know what you're getting with Fox and Sabonis, even Harrison Barnes.
Yeah,
you got the steady trio.
HB hasn't been playing that great, man. Yeah.
But this is you need to see his experience.
Yeah, they signed him back. Obviously, he took a huge pay cut, but he's making like 20-something million a year, right? But this is a guy that was making like 30-something million or close to like 40 million, right? But he's gonna have to step up. He's a huge piece that's gonna be needed. Davion, I want him to come in off the bench and give some energy, right? Like, if he's able to knock down open shots, that's a plus. That's huge, right? But Sabonis obviously is going to be a huge factor. He's going to have to stay out of foul trouble. Draymond's going to be that X factor, though. It's going to be interesting to see. Probably Keegan's probably going to be guarding him, right? But Keegan's been playing some great ball, and it's his second year, and he's still climbing, and he's still developing as a good player.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I wrote down, Draymond and Sabonis. Yeah. Like how those guys match each other. Because, with Sabonis, he's going to be creating the offense. He's going to get his points. He's going to facilitate. And kind of, to me, Draymond Green, what Draymond you get is kind of the X factor defensively.
It's going to be interesting, man. That it's this Northern Cal battle. And Draymond, I think he looks at the Kings and he takes it a little bit more personal. Mm-hmm. But he's kind of like a Ron Artest. My bad, Ron. I keep saying that. Meta. He's going to kill me if this gets out. But Meta, kind of the same guy. High energy. You never know what you're going to get, but you're always going to get that hard work. And let's just hopefully Draymond does not leave the emotions at home. Show them to where he can get thrown out or something.
Get him in trouble.
Yeah. But Sabonis, he's going to have to stay out of foul trouble. It's going to be huge.
Yeah, this is a game where you're Mike Brown, Sabonis, Fox, like these guys will be playing like 45 minutes tonight.
Yeah.
I don't think they're coming off the floor.
See, but the nice thing about it is that they're playing at home. They're playing in the Golden One Center, right? And the Sacramento Kings, they're great fans and they're loyal fans. The Kings is the hottest ticket in town, even though the A's are coming to Sacramento now. But I'm really looking forward to this game tonight. It's going to be interesting. Obviously, I got to go with the Kings, but I'm really looking forward to this.
It's fascinating because you sit here and these are good teams, like record-wise, 10 games above 500, and yet it's the 9th and 10th seeds in the Western Conference.
Yeah, the Western Conference has always been like that. Even when I played, it's always been stacked. The Eastern Conference has always been on the lower side. But obviously, there's about 4 or 5 teams in the Eastern Conference that can come over to the Western Conference and give them a run for the money, right? Especially when it comes to the schedule. And the win and loss record, right? But the Western Conference is still getting big. You got the Lakers right there. You got the Pelicans right there. That's kind of banged up. They've been playing some good ball though. But it's going to be exciting to see that 4-5 seed against the Clippers and the Mavs. That's going to be a nice series. I got to go with the Mavs with Kyrie and Luka. You kidding me? Yeah.
Yeah, they're playing some big-time ball. Look at New Orleans and Lakers. So we just saw the Lakers win in New Orleans on Sunday, convincingly. But for the Pelicans, this opportunity at home, like this has to be a Zion statement game. He got in shape. He's healthy. Can you do it against the Lakers?
I totally agree. But you got to keep in mind that last game, that 81, 82 games, or even a couple more games, if you want to add on, those games, they don't matter. Nobody's playing for anything because to a certain extent, it's already been established. I think if it came down to that like 1 or 2 seed or a must win to get in, then that's a different story. There was a lot of games that were as far as blown out, as far as teams blowing other teams out, right? Because they weren't playing their guys like they were supposed to be. Zion, not only does he have to come out and have a great game, he has to come out and make a statement. He's been playing some great ball. It's been nice to see him develop because I was one of those guys that had to lose weight. It's a dedication, right? You make money and he makes about 35, 40 million a year. Put some of that money towards a chef or a trainer, right? To where they're getting you in the right shape and you're being disciplined to not cheat. That's the huge factor.
That's the difference.
Yeah. I went through it. Trust me. I went through it, man.
He's Kenny Thomas. We're kicking with KT here in studio on the opening drive. So you got Pelicans, Lakers, Kings, Warriors. Which one of those 4 teams in the main draw could go on the longest playoff?
Warriors. Lakers second. Sorry, my Kings third. Maybe Pelicans or Kings, right? 3-4. That can go either way with me, but Warriors, they just do what they do.
The Steph factor too. When you look at Steph, especially the last time in the postseason, it's Game 7 and he drops 50.
Yeah, and it's him. And Klay Thompson's been playing some pretty good ball. He had an up and down year, coming off the bench, starting again. But I think that was needed for him to light a little fire under him, maybe. But Klay doesn't have the perfect record when it comes to the playoffs. So it's going to be the X factors are going to be those guys that play hard, that are just playing, because you got Gary Payton coming back. He's healthy, which is huge for them. So I got the Warriors, man. I mean, Steve Kerr, he knows what he's doing.
All right. You look at the Eastern Conference, the playing games we're going to see tomorrow night. 7-8 matchup. Philadelphia, Miami. 9-10 is Bulls Hawks. But I'm just sitting there thinking, if you're the Boston Celtics, you ran away with the Eastern Conference, right? And you're like, this is our time. We got to get it done. But yet they could be looking at a first-round matchup with either Joel Embiid and the 76ers or the Miami Heat, who just know what to do in the postseason.
Yeah,
as the 1A matchup.
Yeah, Miami Heat. Pat Riley's done a great job. He signed the head coach. How do you say his name? Yeah, Eric, to a long contract. So he's solidifying that foundation, which is the coach. They got rid of Lowry, which is gonna, if he comes back and end up having
with Philadelphia.
Exactly.
Well, they're gonna see him in the 7-8 playing game.
Exactly. So that's gonna happen tomorrow. So you got to think Kyle's gonna come out and try and have a great game, but I got to go with my Sixers, man.
Yep.
Joel, if he can be healthy, it's gonna come down to him and Tobias has been playing some pretty good ball, and then there's the other kid with the big fro that's been playing really good ball.
Well, we saw Tyrese Maxey really come into
50.
his own this season.
Yeah, he had 50 like 2 weeks ago or last week or something.
So you have the scoring punch, and that was the thing. James Harden goes out of town, and the Maxey just is able to explode and shows what he can do. And that's always the thing with Joel Embiid: is he healthy enough?
Yeah. Let me tell you something, man. When you're able to have the ball in your hands on a consistent basis, you just get more comfortable. You know this, man. Playing football or whatever that means. Obviously, you're on the defensive side, so you're not catching the ball, right? But there has to be something there that's allowing you to be able to go out and do what you got to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
What is that for you? Is it like that first hit?
Yeah, there we go.
It's almost like, for me, I get it when I run out the tunnel, and I'm out there, and we were running onto the field. That's almost like the adrenaline rush, and like that you're about to get in the mix of things, and you just got to go 110%. That's when you feel it.
Speaking of Philadelphia, did they give Allen Iverson the smallest statue possible outside the practice center?
I saw that.
Did they get it like a discount store?
I saw
what was
that.
up with that?
I saw that, and I saw a video going across like that. There was other ones that obviously play for the Sixers, right? All the big names, that Dr. J, right? Like, and then I'm like, it seemed. I have to agree with you. It seemed a little small. I'm like, was it because he was under 6 feet and he used to like dominate?
Yeah.
Because you guys know I played with him for 3 years, right? And he actually came to New Mexico for one of my basketball camps in the summer. Thank you, AI. But
I love it's outside the practice facility. That's just phenomenal.
Okay, cool. I didn't know where it was.
Yeah.
I didn't
the
go that
most
deep
quoted
into it.
thing about Allen Iverson.
Yeah, but you had some big name. I mean, you had Jermaine Jones out there. You had Theo Ratliff there. You had some other guys that played with. Derek Coleman was there, who I played with AI with in Philly. It's deserved. It's kind of one of those things. It's like, what is he going to get next? Because this guy was a beast. I actually played against him in college when we played Georgetown. We were winning at half, and the next thing you know, he came out and took over that game. But AI, great dude, man. But there's a lot of different things that he's involved in right now.
Yeah, that's good to see. And of course, your former coach, his former coach Larry Brown, was there, and so AI was talking about how he might not have seen eye to eye all the time with Coach, but he knew how important he was.
See, that's great to hear because Larry Brown, obviously, he traded for me, and I went to play for Larry Brown and with Allen Iverson and some other great guys. I even got to play with Keith Van Horn, who I played against in college. I played for Utah. Larry Brown's a great dude, man. I still talk to him to this day. Sometimes I'll call him or I'll text him just to check in and see what's up. And being in those circles and practice with Larry Brown and AI doing their thing, I loved it because to a certain extent, after that happened, practice was over. But it was Allen being passionate about the game, and it's Larry Brown being passionate about coaching. When I came to Philadelphia, there was one thing I used to do. I used to drive to the paint and I used to spin. And Larry Brown was like, "No, man, you need to drive into the paint and pull up." I was like, "I'm shorter than the guys that are usually guarding me, right?" And he's like, "It doesn't matter. They don't know when you're gonna stop." I was like, "Okay, that makes a lot of sense." So he helped elevate my game, but I thought he was annoying. But it was just him being him, and that's how he coached.
Yeah, is that an element of a good coach? They have to kind of get under your skin a little bit.
Yeah, I was young. I'm in the league, man. I'm like, this dude will not shut up. I got here for a reason, and okay. But the dynamic of how he coaches, he just wants to teach and he wants players to get better because he's trying to help you to be the best you can be. I averaged a double-double my first year under my big contract, my 7-year contract, that Larry Brown helped me get. And then he left and went to Detroit. But he told me, don't get caught up in the noise around you. Just go out there and play ball and do what you do. Because if you didn't play ball, if you didn't play hard in Philadelphia, man, those fans are brutal.
They're going to let you know.
But I love them because I played hard. I used to do the dirty work, take the charges, dive on the floor, do all that crap just to stay on the floor. I knew I could score, but I had to do certain things to stay on the floor because I was only 6'7" in the league playing 4, and I should have been playing the 3, but yeah.
Kenny Thomas kicking it with KT and Sue. We come back on the other side. There's some news in Loboland, a big-time non-conference game on deck. We're going to dive into that. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Network.
Last year, you gave us books. And
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
so that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Jacory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
2 shots to make the playoffs. Winner is the 7 seed and will play the 2 seed Denver Nuggets. Loser will play the winner of Golden State Sacramento. Try to be the number 8 seed to play the Oklahoma City Thunder. We're kicking it with KT, Kenny Thomas in studio. JJ Buck, Cy Riley, along with Kenny Thomas here on the opening drive. And you're up, man.
Yeah, KT, do you think that the Lakers should tank and lose the game against New Orleans Pelicans on tonight and then try their hand at the winner of the Warriors and Kings?
To avoid
the loser,
playing the Nuggets in the first round.
That's a great question.
So that was thrown out there yesterday. People are saying, you know what, the Lakers should, don't win this game, but then put yourself in a win-or-go-home situation.
I don't see LeBron James doing that, to be honest. Like his legacy right now, he's number 1 in scoring. He's won multiple rings. He's the first one to start traveling from team to team. I don't see his legacy being that. I don't. Oh, okay. But if they lose, people are still probably going to say that anyway. So either way, I don't see Darvin Ham, who I know and who's a friend of mine and who I played against. He went to Texas Tech. I don't see them doing that. That's not realistic, and I don't see the Laker franchise doing that. No.
Yeah,
no.
In theory, could the Thunder be an easier matchup than the Nuggets? Possibly, but just because they haven't been there, done that in the playoffs, this is still the number 1 seed in the Western Conference that we're saying is stacked.
Well, I once again, I think LeBron is about legacy, right? We're in a position to where we probably should have been higher in the playoff picture, probably a 1 through 6 seed easily, rather than being a play-in team, right? Just that dynamic alone, I feel like LeBron is like, I don't care, it's Denver. I really don't care. Even though Denver is favored to win again, but everything needs to go right, and Denver lost a couple pieces. And Brown's gone, who was a key factor in those championships that they won. And Jokic, he's going to do what he does, but no. Even if the Thunder is as young as they are, you never know with these young cats right now because anything can happen. And they're going in being bold, even though they're the 1 seed. I feel like they're underdogs.
Yeah, they have a chip on their shoulder.
To be honest.
Because that's what are people talking about? Oh,
inexperienced.
Yeah.
Inexperienced, yeah.
They're talking about, well, you want to play the Thunder.
Yeah.
Like, we're the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. You want to play us? Okay.
But yeah, now you got to keep in mind, it's a whole nother season now. Regular season doesn't matter anymore. And this is the NBA.
Is that a real cliche when it comes to the post? So people say, hey, you kind of have to go through your lump, learn what it takes in the postseason before we could expect a team like OKC to actually go on.
Well, that goes back to what I was saying. OKC is a dangerous team. They're young. And if they come out and play the right way, and not have to go through the stereotype of, hey, we're young, we're not supposed to be here, and come out and play like they've been playing in the regular season. The regular season is a whole different dynamic. It just is. But you got to keep in mind, this is the NBA. Anything can happen on any given night, and it only takes 1 game right now to decide if you're even going forward or if you're not. Unless you're the Lakers, if they do lose, they get an opportunity to play again.
So it came out yesterday. John Rothstein first reported it, then the Journal confirmed it. The Lobos going to Madison Square Garden, Mexico, St. John's, next season.
How was St. John's this year?
They were a bubble
You
team
know?
that did not get in.
Okay.
They were one of like the last 4 out.
Okay, I like it. Let's see where they're ranked this coming year in the poll. But I like the fact that the Lobos are going on the road and creating that atmosphere to where just going to Madison, just going and playing in Madison Square Garden is amazing. Trust me, it's unreal. But having a game like that, that's within your schedule, I think it will help them on an overall basis when it comes to the tournament next year.
What is it about Madison Square Garden where it resonates like that?
That's legendary, man. You see the stars in there. It's just like LA. You see the stars in there, and you want to perform. Like you were talking about coming out in the beginning, I always was nervous the first couple minutes or the first 30 seconds or so. And then I get my feet wet. I'm like, hey, let's go. You know what I mean? I always had sweaty palms before games. That's why I always had a towel in my hand before games. But playing great in front of stars and like in a location like Madison Square Garden, man, it's surreal. And then you got to think about it. When I was playing against Kurt Thomas, Stephon Marbury, guys like that, even Penny Hardaway that played for the Knicks at some point, right? But that whole dynamic of Madison Square Garden, man, it's where the stars are. Between Madison and LA, man.
Are those so the Lakers? So I don't know, what was it then? Was it Staples? I don't know what it was.
It was the Staples Center back then when I played. Was it Crypto?
Now it's Crypto.
Yeah.
So you look at are those the two venues that stand out the most in the league? Or are there anywhere else that you go into?
You notice how all the big time players want to go to those places, right? Those are key markets. Those are markets to where you can create so many different opportunities away from the game, because obviously those stars and people have eyes on you, right? Trust me, man. The NBA is surreal, and being able to do it for 11 years and now still being able to get the recognition and the blessings of people telling me how good I was and this and that. It's an honor, man. And
you earned it, man.
Thank you. Sometimes it doesn't even seem real. I still have dreams to this day about another eligibility in college. Or,
who knows? Maybe there's somebody go play another year or two.
I wish you could transfer. I wish you could transfer a year over. I'd give you an extra year if I could.
That's football, though, bro. That's brutal, man. I'm happy I gave up football because the contracts are guaranteed now, but the whole stuff with the brain stuff and the trauma that it brings, it's not good. But hey, go Texans, man. Hey, we about to ball out this year.
CJ Stroud on the way up. Kenny Thomas. Friday, we're going to know the whole playoffs, and we're going to be breaking it down.
Yeah, okay, cool.
We're going to know 1 through 8, Eastern Conference, Western Conference. Let's go.
Okay, cool. Hey, I got to give a shout out to Tiger Woods. He made the cut. It's been a while, even though he finished like plus 15, plus 16. Good for him to make a cut.
He did finish last.
He is on the up. And it's nice to see him and his son working together. And stay tuned. Obviously, my wine, KT Legacy Wines, is in 9 Albertsons around Albuquerque right now. It's in Santa Fe. It's in Taos. If you want to find out the locations, go to my social media handle, Kenny Thomas NBA. I will be doing a signing here pretty soon, probably Cinco de Mayo or Mother's Day, up at the Albertsons off of Tramway and Academy. Yes, up there in that area. So stay tuned.
We will stay tuned. We'll be following you. Catch Kenny right here, 9 a.m. Tuesday and Friday, kicking it with KT. Appreciate you, man.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate it. Jeff, wherever you are, if you're listening, we do not miss you.
It's the opening drive here at 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Last year, you gave us books, and
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay.
Thank you.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're #1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
In the Lakers, because LeBron James is that dude. It's a little polarizing.
It's a tough deal because Kobe's my GOAT, and I hate in barbershop talk where they just skip over Kobe, you just go straight to MJ or LeBron, and I'm like, you're not gonna forget about the beam, like you're not gonna do him like that. So it's tough, man. Like I'm a Laker fan, diehard Laker fan. I watched the Lakers,
but
been to 3 Laker games this year.
But
Steph Curry's my favorite player in the NBA.
That Steph Curry is probably the most likable athlete
easily
in sport.
Easily. The way he plays.
most guys, even if they're that good, you find a way not to like them.
Yeah, it's hard.
Because he's winning too much, or you know what, he said this once on social media, or he said something I didn't like, and so you start building up the reason not to like this person.
Yeah.
Steph Curry, like, you might be like frustrated if you're the Warriors kept beating your favorite team or winning those championships, but that is one dude. Like, he is the most likable athlete in sport.
When people try and find reasons not to like you, that's how you know you're doing good.
And that's the way it is for most of the elite players in the game.
Yep.
But we have an elite player, Steph Curry, and you're still just kind of like, got nothing. You're just good player, good dude. Hard not to root for.
Pull up from 35 and just turn around and dance.
Well, that's going to be fascinating. Tonight, it's a winner-go-home game between Sacramento and Golden State in Sacramento for the 9-10 matchup, Pelicans and Lakers. And I agree with Katie Thomas, and I understand it's what we're doing in the business of throwing things out there, seeing what hits, but it never crossed my mind where multiple shows we're talking about should the Lakers tank the game against the Pelicans to avoid playing the Denver Nuggets, and to me that's just crazy talk.
Yeah,
like even you're LeBron James, the Lakers, they still do have a high ceiling. You're not that good to play that game. To say, hey, we're gonna maybe rest LeBron and AD against the Pelicans, but then to put yourself in a coin flip situation of not even making the playoffs, that's just crazy.
And even LeBron James, I know he's going to embrace the challenge. So he's going to win tonight.
He's not scared of it.
No, he's going to win tonight. And then when they play the Denver Nuggets, if they can dethrone the Denver Nuggets, everybody in the West is going to be like, the Lakers are coming. LeBron James is coming. And then they're gonna get in their heads a little bit when they're playing the Lakers. So LeBron James and the Lakers are not throwing this game. They're gonna put themselves
and then they don't have to play.
Yep.
So the Warriors in a winner go home scenario for game 2 to see who would be the number 8 seed to play the Denver Nuggets. The opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. JJ Buck, I Riley with you this morning. Bobcat pulling it down behind the glass. 505-246. That's the Sports Animal hotline. Also, Sports Animal this morning. So the WNBA draft was last night. No surprise as Caitlin Clark was number 1 overall to the. It's been really interesting hearing the conversation about Caitlin from the veterans. Been there, done that here at WNBA. The great players that are talking about what's in store. Nothing is different. A high-profile rookie going into an NFL locker room, an NBA locker room, going to feel the same thing. It's like there's certain players that you understand that are going to be the face of the franchise. Even the face of the franchise has to go in and win the. And there's that pushback. It's not going to. That's sport. Whether you're Caitlin Clark or Trevor Lawrence. By the way, Caitlin Clark last night sold more jerseys than Trevor Lawrence as the number 1 overall. People are on the Caitlin Clark fan. So the next question is, how does the WNBA benefit? Because people enjoyed watching Caitlin Clark. They enjoyed watching Iowa. March Madness sells itself. So how do we enjoy Caitlin Clark at the net? How do you enjoy the WNBA? What part of that is on us? Someone that has a microphone and opportunity to talk about things is, are we going to have a WNBA topic for you that's going to move the people? No. But it is something that, on the rundown, we're talking about. And that's how you're going to get the WNBA is mentioning Caitlin Clark's debut. Marcy Fraser Arena, who plays the defending champ of Las Vegas East, giving them the time of. It's easy to point at the NBA and like, you got to sell me on. Okay, well, the people in position to talk about sport have to be the time.
I love attending Los Angeles Sparks games. I was already looking this year because of the Lakers process. Chance of making it into the playoff and game. The Sparks are going to have to start their games in Long Beach at the Pyramid. Yeah, and I was already looking. I was like, coming through, maybe.
No, those tickets are different.
Man,
they're different.
And the Pyramid is a small venue, so those tickets were already into the $300, $400 price range, and I'm like, okay, maybe I won't see Caitlin Clark, but I'll go see any other game. Like she's gonna find the groove, and find the routine, and press the floor, making them come up away further from the basket. And then she's gonna have her partner in crime, Aaliyah Boston, who's 2023 Rookie of the Year, 2022 John
The
Wooden
number one
Award. Exactly. South Carolina alone. They're gonna do a tremendous amount of damage.
And that's what it is. You have your stars crossing over, and there's stars in that game that you just don't know about. That's on everything. That's on the WNBA finding media, other products out there. There's more games than moments like this. I'm whatever, whether it's Los Angeles, anywhere across the country, given the time of day, that's different. And that's when you look at, hey, can they carry it over? Yeah, they can if you give it the opportunity, if you give it the chance. And someone, I appreciate women's sports. It's been a huge opportunity. It's when I started calling games on a regular basis, women's soccer, and I'm calling a softball game for UNM this afternoon. Of course, the last 4 years, been the voice of UNM women's basketball. So I've grown to appreciate and understand that game can be just as good, just as fun as anything.
Absolutely. And that's one thing I'm looking forward to. Just this WNBA season. It's going to be so interesting. And the Las Vegas Aces to repeat. Sabrina and Steph obviously had the 3-point shootout during the All-Star break. Is Caitlin Clark going to, take over that title? She's going to come into the league and take it by storm. Angel Reese and all of the baggage that everybody throws on top of her. Her joining up with Camila Cabello was from South Carolina, and now that being the dominant backcourt with the Chicago Sky, and Candace Parker, of course, is still in Chicago. There's so many great storylines for the W, and it'll be a blast.
It is. So Caitlin Clark was number 1 overall to the end. Her jerseys on Fanatics sell out last night in 1 hour. And that passed the hype of Trevor Lawrence. So he held the title as the highest selling number 1 pick in this Fanatics era. And that is now Caitlin Clark, the WNBA. It's going to be fun to watch that this summer. 505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text on. We come back on the other side. It's a busy Tuesday here locally. We'll let you know what's up. It's the opening drive on the Sports Animal.
This is Boomer Esiason.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. we know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
And Milwaukee moving forward without Giannis. They're the 3 seed, taking on the Indiana Pacers. So the Pacers were one of the reasons why Milwaukee Bucks have a new head coach, why Doc Rivers took over. Indiana won 4 of 5 games from Milwaukee this season. And the biggest problem the Bucks had was no defense. And I know a lot of you out there, like, they don't play defense in the NBA, but they do. Now it's just they're a lot better offensive players in the NBA than they are in college basketball. So the scores look a lot different. But the Milwaukee Bucks have not played Indiana with Doc Rivers head coach, but now they are going to have to do it without Giannis. And I'm leaning Indiana in this series because I think without Giannis, what does that do? That hurts you defensively. It changes the way you play, and it's back to kind of the way Dame was in Portland. It was Dame and CJ, and like, oh, what are we going to do? Now it's Dame and Brook Lopez and Chris Middleton, and this is going to be a challenge. Not a surprise, but Milwaukee now saying, yeah, looks like Giannis isn't going to be available. And even if he comes back, he's not going to be 100%. And so what's next for Milwaukee? Well, it's run it forward. And you have Doc Rivers in there. Brought him in for a reason. And obviously that reason isn't going to come to fruition this season. Giannis is not going to be healthy 100%, not on the floor. Because then I like Indiana in that series. I think Indiana can run up and down and run through them. And you have the out. So, well, Giannis wasn't there. We can come back. I guess the biggest question, and I know we were looking at some of the things that were popping up on the screen, how happy is Damian Lillard? Because Milwaukee was not his first destination. He was angling all offseason to get to Miami.
Yeah. I think he's all right now. Obviously, this isn't the set of circumstances that he thought he was going to have coming to the Milwaukee Bucks. He was ring chasing. He wanted a ring. That was his plan for this when he requested the trade, and Giannis is a big blow to that. I still think that there's a way for them to get out of this series if they are able, him and Chris Middleton, if they're able to.
His Dame is that he can win a series.
Yeah,
he can win a first round series.
He can win a series if they're able to, number one, outscore the combo of Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam. If those two are able to outscore, and then if they're also able to limit Halliburton's assist numbers. If they can do those two things, I feel like they could probably get out in about 6 games. And then whether or not Giannis is available for the next series against the winner of the New York Knicks and 76ers and Miami Heat, that's another story. But you just got to live to fight another day if I'm Damian Lillard and, take the punches how they come.
505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and Text Line. With JJ Buck, joined by Cy Riley this morning. Just wrapped up 4 years playing linebacker at the University of New Mexico. Busy time around right now. So Albuquerque Ice Topes are going to open up a 6-game series at El Paso. Of course, Topes snapped an 8-game losing streak on Sunday. They had to score 3 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning to do that, to come back on Sugarland. But Josh Shushan will take over the mic this evening, 6:15, as Ice Topes open up a 6-game series at El Paso. U.S. Open Cup is back in town. New Mexico United are hosting the Lubbock Matadors. The Matadors is actually one of 3 amateur teams to earn a victory in the U.S. Open Cup, and that's what makes this a lot of fun. U.S. Open Cup is open to everyone. You got USL teams, from the championship down to League One. You have MLS teams in it. And as an amateur team, you can play your way into the U.S. Open Cup. Some of the fun of the matchup. But they're playing that game against the Lubbock Matadors tonight in Rio Rancho at Rio Rancho High School. And the Open Cup is a big reason United was able to explode onto the scene like they were. And it was in that first season of New Mexico United Soccer. They went on that Open Cup run. We saw them win games against the Colorado Rapids, against FC Dallas, go play Minnesota. So the Open Cup has a special place in U.S. soccer, but especially for New Mexico United. That's going on tonight. And then it's going to be a busy afternoon out there. Lobo Baseball and Softball. Jackie Robinson Day for Lobo Baseball as they're hosting CSU Pueblo at 6 p.m. So you can go enjoy those festivities. And Lobo Softball taking on New Mexico State at 4 o'clock. Got a lot of things going on, as well as final episode of the Sci and Sky podcast. Yeah. So where can people find those episodes, listen back to all the work you guys have done?
Yeah, so they're on YouTube under the Sci and Sky podcast, Spotify, Sci and Sky podcast, Apple podcast, wherever you find your podcast.
And so that's what put you on my radar. Of course, we had the opportunity. We had you on the show during football season once, and then talking and seeing your interest, and here you are, man, doing a great job. And I really appreciate, again, once again, the time that you're giving us this week. You're going to be here tomorrow and Thursday as well, sharing a different perspective. And I love to get the new voices, and because, man, you have experiences I don't have. As much as I love the game of football, I've never hit anyone. No. I've never had to line up on the other side of it, so I appreciate this perspective that you're able to bring to the game.
No, thank you, JJ, for allowing me to come on and try my hat in a new arena, and it's been great so far. And I looking forward to the next couple of days, and I've been having a lot of fun.
It gets going tonight. We got the play-in tournament tonight, so we're going to be talking Lakers, Warriors, Kings, Pelicans, all those teams. Do the icons get it done?
I hope
Steph
they do.
Curry and LeBron James.
Yeah,
LeBron James, the Lakers. They beat the Pelicans tonight. I think Zion Williamson can still have a statement game, but I don't think it's going to be enough because they've been without Brandon Ingram. And he would be the swing piece in this. If the Pelicans were able to go in there with the way Zion Williamson has been playing, healthy, in shape second half of the season, TJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, that's a team that could beat the Lakers. I don't think that Zion by himself is that dude yet. Be able to knock off LeBron and AD. But the Lakers get it done, and then we're going to get Denver and LA, 2-7 first-round series. I think Steph Curry has a big game. And the Warriors advance, and I think it will be Warriors Pelicans for the
Draymond, don't get ejected. Please. Please.
I want to thank Kenny Thomas. He joined us this morning kicking it with KT. We've got the Jim Rome Show coming up next. Colin Cowherd at 1, 2 men on, Fred and Van take over at 4 o'clock. And then Ice Hopes Baseball follows that. Bob, appreciate you. Thank you so much for all the work that you do, Adrian, on ProView. Looks great for Cy Riley. I'm JJ Buck, everybody. Meta World Peace and Love. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 7 a.m.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.